A podcast? Did your radio show get canceled?
Fire. Low down and filthy, but the discipline is on point. Schooled myself, made my own dojo. A cold flow with the whole dose of soul. Maintain composure, even in theory. An anomaly, properties.
This week on the Pete the Planner show, we talked to a mom who's wanting to get into real estate. She's got a little anxiety about how she's doing, but frankly, I think she's doing pretty darn good. We're going to meet her now. Her fake name, of course, is Nicole. Hello, Nicole.
Hello.
So now if I talk to our producer, Nicole, we'll call her Frank. Frank, you're going to be Frank today. So you're Frank. Hi, Nicole. Why are you with us today? What are we going to do for you?
Hi. I just had some questions that I kind of wanted to get somebody else's opinion or guidance on regarding my finances. I do want to start investing in real estate, as I said, and just trying to figure out the best route to go ahead and start doing that.
All right. So here's what I understand about your life. Feel free to correct any of it. You make just under $60,000 a year or so. Is already $57,600. Am I making that number up? Is that right?
That's right.
All right. You, let's see, what else do I know about you? You put 5% into your 401k. Your employer puts in 5% for a total of 10%, and you've got like $30-some thousand in your 401k, correct?
Correct.
You already own a home, but someone else, your brother lives there?
Yes.
Is he paying you?
He is paying the bills, but I'm not making a profit off of him.
Okay, so you're not making a profit off. We'll turn the screws on him later. Put the juice to him. Do you have any equity in that home?
I'm not sure. I think I do, but I'm not positive.
Okay.
I bought it in 2010 for $57,500.
Look at you. So 8 years ago, and you're only 32, right?
Right.
So you bought it when you were 24?
Yes.
How did you have the money and the wherewithal to buy a home at age 24?
I just always, had a good credit. I'm good with my finances. I'm pretty disciplined.
All right, so which brings up a question I have for you. From what I understand, you have student loans that you are not currently paying on. Is that true?
That is true.
So how in the world do you have good credit? Like, how is that possible?
I'm on an income-based repayment plan, and my payment is $0.
What? So you're an income-based repayment, but you make $57,600. What are the other factors making it $0?
My children
There it
and
is.
I guess my expenses.
Okay, so you don't have to pay, and the idea here is that you will satisfy the period of income-based repayment. They will write off the rest, and you will just deal with the tax consequences at that point in time. Is that the direction you're going with it?
I'm hoping to, but I know there are certain stipulations that you have to meet to get it written off. So I'm hoping to get some of it written off at a point, but I don't know if that I will be able to get it all written off.
Okay. Yeah, probably not. What other debts do you have right now? You have a credit card and a car. Are those your other debts? And is there anything else as well?
Yep. Those are my only debts.
All right.
Now.
How much on that credit card?
Those balances are like under $1,000. So, I pay my balance mostly in full, or leave a little bit for the next month. So I normally pay it off each month.
And then you have a car payment?
Yes, my car payment is $224, and I owe about $5,200 on it.
Okay, and you've got a decent savings account too, right?
Yeah, I have about $8,300 in savings right now. That's just short term, and then I'm kind of deciding right now if I need to start go ahead and pay off the car, or if I want to start paying down student loans.
Do you think you're doing well, or do you think you're struggling? Like, how do you think you're doing?
I think I'm doing okay.
I think you're doing okay. I mean, it's like, if we take a look at, Nicole, can you pull up the grid there for us? We've got this grid where we sort of evaluate people's, how they think they're doing versus how they're really doing. You've got about a 10% power percentage, right? Nicole, graph where we think where we've got our friend, fake name Nicole. There she is. All right, so you can't see this fake name Nicole because we're using a telephone and we have not yet tapped into technology where you can see what I'm seeing. But we've got you in group 3 and we want to move you up to 1. So here is our 2-part plan to do this. Number 1, we need to, this sounds silly, we need you to feel better about what's really going on in your life, and we'll do that here in a second. That's the easy part. Then the second part is we actually need to do a little bit better too. And you want to do that through real estate. Why do you want to become a real estate investor?
I've always liked it, and I've seen my aunt do it and my cousin do it, and they've been successful, and they've had freedom from not having to go to a 9-to-5, and I would like the freedom of not having to go to a 9-to-5, but working for myself.
And what method have they used to sort of accumulate their real estate portfolio? Are they doing no money down, or like have you got into it with them of what their methodology is?
Yeah, so my aunt, she initially got into it. Luck of the draw, she got a house for a really cheap price, and that's how she got into it. So she didn't really have to get along with that first property, and then from there on, she started building up her portfolio. And there are times she does have to put money down, and they're all under her name. And she doesn't have like a company set up to where they're under her company right now. And so she's just been purchasing mortgages straight directly under her and her husband.
Okay, and so that seems like the route you want to go as well?
No, I would like to try to do like no money down or other people's money,
Sure.
I'm trying to go that route.
So it's interesting. You've got the one property you bought for super cheap, and you're trying to buy, your grandma passed away, and you're trying to buy her old house, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What issues will you have with that? Is there any strange thing to it?
Well, because she passed away and she didn't leave a will or anything, the house is currently in the estate of. And she had 2 mortgages on the home, and they're both in jeopardy of going into default. And the first mortgage, the final payment, I don't know if my aunt has been making the payments because my aunt is over the estate.
Sure.
But the final payment for the first mortgage would have been due in this month, September, and then the second mortgage. So the way the second mortgage was set up with my grandmother, she had an amount she had to pay, and then they had a balloon payment on top of her payment. So the portion that she had left is about $20,000.
Okay.
Or 18, and the balloon payment is $15,000. They gave my aunt a deal in July, and she didn't take it at that time. And they were going to write off the balloon payment if she stuck with the deal that they had set out for her.
Uh-huh.
And she didn't at that time, so now they want the entire payment. So now they want the entire $31,000.
What do you think the place is worth?
I think it's worth about like $60, $70, maybe more. It needs some fixing up. So my uncle was living in there being negligent. The pipes burst, needs a new heater and things like that. But I think it does have potential, and it has potential to be a multifamily home as well.
All right, so that's where I get to the uncomfortable question of the day, but I think you may have just answered. Why even mess with that property versus go with one that has less baggage associated with it? Is the answer because it's got multifamily home possibilities to it?
That and kind of because I just wanted to kind of keep it in the family.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if I consider myself a real estate investor or not. I have a couple pieces of property, but I know that sort of the emotional attachment to property can get you into trouble. I do know that.
Right.
So what would be your purchase or what would be your plan to make that purchase? Do you have a plan in place to make that happen?
So, so my aunt has been working with, she's been trying to get paperwork in order. And we've talked with a mortgage guy. He told her all they needed to do was create a purchase order for the property for the amount that they want to sell it to me for. But what she was going to do is add in a little bit more so that I could fix the home up with the amount that they're selling it to me for, quote unquote. And that's the route we were thinking about going, and then that way I won't have to do a down payment.
Sure.
Or, and then I would just move there from where I'm currently staying, and that would take care of the payment. Okay,
yeah. So the $895 or whatever you're paying in rent now becomes the payment that you'd be paying. I mean, that is I don't want to say it's somewhat reasonable, but that's a somewhat reasonable thing, right? I mean, If the mortgage broker says that is possible, I don't know one way or the other, frankly. That begins to build your real estate portfolio, and then you have two pieces of real estate. Then it becomes, how do you get your third? All the while, you've got a 10% power percentage, which is okay. I'd like it to be higher. I'd like it to be closer to 20. Here's a question: how did you get $8,000 in your savings account? Like, how did it get to be that high?
My taxes, and then taxes. So one of my kids' dad, he was behind on child support, and I ended up getting his taxes as well.
Okay, hey, that's how that works, though. So nothing wrong with that. So do you anticipate next tax season that putting even more money into your savings?
Yeah.
Okay, and then it sounds like you don't necessarily use your tax refund, and you don't spend it. You've been saving it, or did you get enough that you were actually spending it too?
Well, yeah, this time I got enough where I was able to spend some and save some. So.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, again, the way I view my job in relation to this show and what we do here is like, okay, do I see any glaring errors? No. I mean, if you've got $8,000 in savings, that becomes the emergency fund for your household. And if you're going to be an owner of real estate, by all means, you need to have some money set aside for that too. But if you're going to be living in the second piece of real estate and your brother's going to be paying for the first part of real estate, the plan starts to make sense. What's the mortgage situation on the first? Is it a 30-year mortgage? What are the terms of that one?
Yes, it's 30-year, and I was thinking about financing to a 15-year because my friend told me she did it and her payment actually went down. But I'm not sure if that'll be the same case for me. But yeah, I thought about it.
It just depends when you bought. Well, I guess you said you bought that property in 2008 or 2000. When did you say? 2010. Yeah, interest rates have gone up since then. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting. So, but you also commute like an hour and a half to work every day?
Yes.
Oh, how long you want to do that?
I don't. I'm over it.
So how would this move to this property, would it change that commute?
No.
Yeah, that stinks.
It could potentially lessen my expenses.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny. I don't do a ton with real estate, which is pretty obvious. I have a good friend, not good friend, but maybe overselling it. I have an acquaintance. That's a better way to say it, Frank. I have an acquaintance who has a podcast called Afford Anything, and she is it's a real estate investment podcast. Have you ever listened to that by any chance?
No, I haven't.
All right, it's called Afford Anything. Paula Pant is the host. She's an acquaintance. To call her a good friend, probably not a thing. Anyway, Afford Anything, it might be great for you because it really is about building real estate empires, and I think it'd be interesting. I think the one thing I would tell you is that arguably, if you're getting that significant amount of a tax refund, like what do you think you will get next spring as a tax refund? Yours and the child support payment, if that happens again, how much do you think you'll get?
I usually get like 5 to 8.
Okay, so I
was thinking about that too because I have been listening to some tax podcasts or whatever, and they were saying I should basically be trying to come out even versus getting a big refund at the end of the year. But I don't want to owe, so that's why I don't. That's why I haven't upped my exemptions throughout the year because I was scared to owe.
No, owing's
and
no
then
fun.
I'm also paying taxes in 2 states also. So
I think as long as you make reasonable decisions with the refund when it comes, I don't think there's anything. I mean, technically, yeah, you're technically you should owe because then you're borrowing their money and then paying them, and you get to work with it. But like, I have no problem with the way you're doing it as long as you're putting away a significant portion. Let's say you put away $5,700 next spring into your savings. That's another 10% of your income. Your power percentage is actually 20%. We like to see a power percentage above 21%. So that's pretty darn good. The key would be to consistently increase your 401k contribution so that you can, build wealth that way, as well as the real estate that you're going to begin to build. But having that cash is so helpful, right?
Right. So do you think I should pay off the car and start paying down the debt or keep paying payments?
I think you should keep paying payments, frankly, because I would much rather $5,200 to get rid of $5,200 worth of cash to free up $224 or whatever of cash flow a month just doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
I would just keep paying it, and especially if real estate is the thing you're going to do, and you're going to need money to rehab this house. Like, cash is king for you. I would not part with it.
Okay.
Is that fair?
And then it is.
All right. What else did you had one other question?
So, do you think that I should? I know you just said increase my 401k. You think I should increase my 401k that I'm putting in, or do you think I should open a Roth?
You can open a Roth. It's going to be more flexible for you, by all means. I mean, you could use it for college education. You can always take out what you've put in the case of emergency. And I mean, I don't know anything about your 401k, but a Roth would also be a reasonable option for you too. I like the financial life that you've built, though. I mean, I really do. You have, how many children do you have?
3.
Single mom of 3 kids, 32 years old, about to have 2 properties, 30 grand in her 401k. Like, this is pretty, I like it. Like, I like it. There's some moving pieces, but I can tell, and I mean this as a compliment, it's your hustle and ingenuity that is making this work, because $57,000 for a single mom of 3 where you live, that's not a tremendous amount of money, but you're making it do a lot of things. I like it. Oh, you're doing great.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Thank you. Anything else?
No, that was it. You gave me some great insight.
Well, I appreciate you being on the show, and I also appreciate you picking the fake name, or being given the fake name of Nicole, so that it adds confusion to the show, because I like that. I like that a lot. So
no problem. Thank you. It's my middle name.
Oh, good. Well, best of luck to you. Keep us updated. We like updates.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
All right, my pleasure. All right, that's it for this week's Pete the Planner Show. You know, I love having people on this show that have situations we haven't necessarily seen before. That's a unique one. Nicole, what do you think about that?
I love it.
Single mom, 3 kids, lives in an expensive area, so that's why she drives an hour and a half to work, so she doesn't have to live in a super expensive area.
Right.
And then, yeah.
It's one of those, she's got so many moving pieces, but so many moving pieces that could be moving in the right direction for her.
Yeah, I just hope it's not a house of cards thing. That's why if she goes too cash poor, like if she pays off too much debt with that savings, then if something goes wrong, she's in trouble. But, you know, I mean, when you're a single mom of 3, you got to take some risks. And so far, it seems like she's taking the right risks, in my opinion.
And it's cool to see that she's willing to take the risks for the payoff.
Absolutely. All right, that's it for this week's show. If you're going to be on the show, be on the show. Go to PeteThePlanner.com/podcast. We'd love to have you. Until then, I'm Pete the Planner, and this is my show.
This is for information purposes only. It's not the Swiss financial planning device. Consult a financial advisor.
Hi, I'm internet podcaster Peter Dunn. You may know me as Pete the Planner. You hear me on the radio and on your podcasting device, but did you know you can also see me on YouTube? That's right, we have a YouTube channel, and we call it PeteThePlanner.tv. We ask you to subscribe so you can catch great shows like Pete's Eats and this here podcast with drawings. But the drawings are made with a video camera. Subscribe today.
Took me home, fueled by the ink and the megabytes and the hypertext transfer protocol, stronger than the Skynet and the Terminator. I push faders into warp speed, glide with ease, creating a breeze they call a black hole. Event horizon, no rear view concerns. This I adjourn, and beats I burn. This I adjourn, and beats I burn. Salutations, I bring you love-tron greetings from a faraway land. I am the sole controller. Put the remote down and let me take control. You're now a part of my zone, so enjoy yourself. Love-tron can restore your health. I bring you greetings, salutations. How you doing? And is that how y'all say it?